Hello, friends. Welcome to the podcast. Today, we're going to talk about perfectionism and how perfectionism can actually harm us in the long term. On the surface, striving for perfection can seem like a positive trait, driving us to achieve great things. However, when we look closer, we often find that perfectionism can have a serious negative impacts on our mental health, relationships, and well being. I usually tell most of my clients perfection leads to depression, which because it's impossible to be perfect all the time. So just keep that in mind. So let's understand perfectionism first. Perfectionism is a relentless pursuit of flawlessness. It's characterized by setting exceedingly high standards for oneself and being overly critical of any mistakes of imperfections. While aiming for high standards can be motivating, perfectionism goes beyond this healthy drive and becomes detrimental. And harms of perfectionism. There's it can have dire mental health issues. Perfectionism is closely linked to various mental health problems. The constant pressure to meet unattainable standards can lead to anxiety and depression. Perfectionists often experience intense fear of failure, which can result in chronic stress and burnout. So, for example, a student who strives for perfect grades might become so anxious about exams that they experience severe test anxiety, affecting their performance and well being. And believe it or not, another thing to think about is procrastination. Paradoxically, perfectionism can lead to procrastination. The fear of not being able to complete a task perfectly can be so overwhelming that it leads to avoidance behavior, and this can result in missed deadlines and unfulfilled goals. For example, a writer may delay starting their book because they fear it won't be good enough, leading to procrastination and missed opportunities. And it also, impairs a relationship. It affects your relationships also. Perfectionism doesn't just affect the individual, it can also strain relationships. Perfectionists may have unrealistic expectations of others, leading to frustration and conflict. Additionally, they might be less likely to seek help or accept support, creating a sense of isolation. For example, a perfectionist manager may demand unrealistic standards from their team, causing stress and resentment among employees. I remember reading this article a few years back where the article was talking about some companies don't want to hire people who may have a 4.0 GPA because they may think that this person might be perfectionist, and just like in this example, this person might put unrealistic expectation on other people, and might cause some type of stress to the whole team because of their perfectionism. And it reduces creativity and innovation. Perfectionism stifles creativity and innovation. The fear of making mistake can prevent individuals from taking risks and trying new things. This can limit personal growth and hinder progress in various fields. Um, for an example, an artist might avoid experimenting with new techniques for fear of producing imperfect work, limiting their creative potential. Um, it can also perfectionism can also cause person to have a negative self-esteem. Perfectionists often tie their self-worth to their achievements. When they inevitably fall short of their impossibly high standards, this self-esteem takes a hit. This can create a cycle of self-criticism and low self-worth. For this example, is the athlete who constantly berates themselves for not winning every competition may struggle with the feeling of inadequacy despite their overall success. And so let's talk a little bit about breaking free from perfectionism. Embrace imperfection, right? Recognize that imperfection is a natural part of life. Embracing flaws and mistakes as opportunity for growth can reduce the pressure to be perfect. Uh, you can try adopting a growth mindset where mistakes are seen as valuable learning experiences rather than failures. Um, you can set realistic goals. Um, aim for progress rather than perfection. Setting achievable and realistic goals can help you maintain motivation and reduce stress. And you can practice break larger tasks into smaller manageable steps and celebrate your progress along the way. Okay, so another thing you can do is cultivate self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with same compassion and understanding that you would offer a friend facing similar challenges. Okay, you can practice this by when you catch yourself being self-critical, pause. Pause is very important. Pause and reframe your thoughts in more compassionate and supportive manner. Um, you can seek support for this. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And sharing your struggles with trusted friends, family, or therapists can provide valuable perspective and support. Um, you can practice this by joining a support group or engage in therapy to work through perfectionist tendencies in a safe and supportive environment. Um, I'm also a therapist, and I can add my link where you can, if you like, you can we can talk more in detail about this also. Um, so like you can look for the link in the description, and then focus on the journey. Shift your focus from end result to the process. Enjoy the journey and the small victories along the way rather than fixating solely on the outcome. Okay, you can practice this by engaging in mindfulness practices to stay present and appreciate the moment rather than worrying about future results. You can watch my video about mindfulness, and I have a lot of different mindfulness practices on my channel. So, in conclusion, you can strive for excellence instead of perfection. The difference is when you strive for excellence, you do your best, but you also leave yourself some room for failures or errors. And when you're striving for perfectionism, you don't leave yourself room for errors or failures. And what is life without errors and failures? You know, that's what makes us grow. Our failures, our errors, and we learn from them. That's part of growth. So by embracing imperfection, setting realistic goals, cultivating self-compassion, seeking support, and focusing on the journey, we can mitigate the negative effects of perfectionism and lead a healthier, more fulfilling lives. Um, Remember, it's our imperfections that make us human and unique. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk again.